Congresswoman Lauren Boebert of Colorado with us. It's good to see you, ma'am. Thank you. Do you think the American people care that Congress right now, 3 hours before the shutdown, everybody's at home hanging out rather than at least at the Capitol trying to negotiate something?
Yes, I think the American people absolutely care that the Democrats are about to shut down the federal government. And, it's really interesting to sit here and hear that there needs to be a compromise from Republicans. Leland, this is a 7-week clean CR. This is a budget that the Democrats have voted for 13 times in the past. Here I am, conservative Republican Congresswoman from Colorado in my 5th year, in my 3rd term. And if you would have told me before I got to Congress that I would be advocating for a Pelosi-Schumer budget to be passed, I would say you were out of your dang mind and I may as well not even run for Congress. But the simple fact is—
So why are you doing it?
I'm about to tell you. So this is actually freezing spending, and it is saving money until we can actually get the appropriations done. There have been 3 individual appropriations.
Wait, so we're saving money and freezing money by having a Schumer-Pelosi budget?
It is spending less money than what Republicans have proposed. And that is not something that I agree with, for us to spend more money. But in our appropriations proposals, it's spending more money. And we want to freeze that spending.
I understand. I get it. And I keep hearing from Republicans on and off camera that Democrats are wanting to shut down the government. And there is some truth to that.
And they are going to. They've already voted to in the House, and now they have an opportunity in the Senate to keep the government open. And now they've bent themselves backwards to twist the truth and characterize a clean 7-week CR as a partisan product. And it's anything but the truth.
Okay, I understand that. Politicians not telling the truth is something that I think the American people are pretty used to. The fact of the matter is, though, that in every time I have covered a shutdown, whether it be a Democratic president or a Republican president, universally, every time I have done it, and I've done it quite a lot over the past 10 years, or a showdown over a shutdown, it is always Republicans who lose the messaging war and lose the political war, regardless of who is, quote unquote, at fault.
Well,
why is this time going to be any different?
Numbers, right?
I'm sorry?
If Republicans won't vote to pass the budget, then yes, it falls on them. But here we are voting to pass this, and Democrats are standing by one another to shut this down because they want $1.5 trillion more in spending. They want illegal aliens to continue receiving health care. They want that reinstated in this budget. They want $500 million to prop up liberal news outlets and so much more. This is $1.5 trillion more that they want. And so I would say, look at who is casting the vote, and that is who to blame. Who is voting to shut down the government? The Democrats.
Okay, I got it. And look, it's a reasonable argument, right? The people who are voting no should get the blame. Okay, I got it.
When I vote against something, I get blamed for whatever.
That is your fault.
Absolutely. That is our job, to cast the vote.
So look, it's a reasonable argument. You're talking really about the votes of what? 9 senators? 8 senators? That are the no votes here? Okay. The issue, though, again, is a perception one. Republicans are in charge of the House, the Senate, and the White House. Here is President Trump back when he was a private citizen, had no problem opining on politics, talking about government shutdowns.
25 years and 50 years and 100 years from now, when the government is, when they talk about the government shutdown, they're going to be talking about the President of the United States. Who was the president at that time?
Here, the Democrats are going to be blamed and the Republicans are going to be blamed. I actually think the president would be blamed.
You worry about that at all?
Well, here's the deal. President Trump is urging for this to be passed, for this clean 7-week continuing resolution, this Pelosi-Schumer budget to pass.
I just want to help our viewers for 1 second. I'm going to give you the last word here. Hold on. I'm going to give you the last word here. You keep saying clean CR. For our viewers, means a clean continuing resolution, which basically means keep spending money at the current rate. Everything stays the same for 7 weeks because Republicans think then you can pass all these budgets. Effectively, though, aren't we just going to be in the same place in 7 weeks when the Senate is going to have the same power? The Democrats in the Senate will have the same power to not pass the next round of Republican appropriations?
Now, Leland, that is a great question. As I said, we have passed multiple appropriations bills individually, and some of those are even in conference right now to pass ultimately to be signed into law. So a different funding bill would look different because other appropriations, other agencies have already been funded through those and signed into law. And so we'd have to look at what that looks. I'm not for CRs. This, as I said, freezes spending, and that's why I did make a compromise as a Republican to pass this. I would love to see all 12 individual appropriations bills passed and signed into law. I do not want to see an omnibus, a minibus, or whatever that may come in November. But we are going to continue to do our job and ensure that the federal government is funded. Now, one last thing, Leland, this is all just opposition to President Trump. That is all we have seen all year.
No, look, if you want to be fair about this. Yeah, if you want to be fair about this, Democrats want to find a way to fight against Trump. They have to be seen by their base as fighting against Trump. Yeah, and that's fair.
And he could walk on water, and they would say the man can't swim.
Good imagery to leave it on. Congresswoman, it's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Leland,
we appreciate
great to see you. Thanks.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.